move to closing comments of the commissioners.
All right, what's up, Lapeer? I told you I would do at least 3 videos about the December 15th Lapeer City Commission meeting, and this is the third. But before I go any further, if you saw the note I posted a little while ago, I was heading to the community center to try to get in a workout, right? I love that place. I think it's a jewel in Lapeer. You got the swimming pool, the track, you got the basketball courts, and then you have all the weight equipment. I'm probably forgetting other great features. I see people play pickleball, volleyball, racquetball. See, there's a lot. There's a lot there. So, hence the headband, because I hate trying to get sweat out of my eyes when I'm wearing glasses and so on and so forth. And um, never picked a pink one, but luckily I wasn't going to Planet Fitness. I didn't feel like I was in danger of setting off the lunk alert alarm. And it gives me a place for my headphone, which hopefully you will be able to hear. So I did say I wanted to share the city commissioners and the mayor's closing comments because that is an opportunity for them to really speak from the heart. It's also an opportunity for them to kind of push an agenda and 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 spread propaganda. But I don't really feel like that's what happened here. I think we got speak from the heart more often than not. So I'm gonna go ahead and I may comment on some of them, maybe, maybe not, maybe all of them, maybe I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but let's watch them together. I do think there is value because they are well aware that they're under a microscope right now, and I think they're feeling the pressure, and they're also feeling the frustration of trying to figure out how this newly configured commission is going to go forward. And so there's just a lot of tension. And with that, I'll let you guys check it out.
And closing comments.
I had one.
Commissioner Glissman.
I have a couple things. The first thing that I want to do is I want to congratulate Chief Howe on his selection by the Federal Bureau of Investigations to attend the National Academy. Only the top 1% of law enforcement gets accepted into this program. This is a very prestigious honor, and I would just want to say bravo, Chief Howe. Good job. Secondly, the first America 250 meeting was a resounding success with talented and creative leaders of our community in attendance. The group is extremely impressive and they have outstanding ideas for Lapeer. Our next meeting will be on January 12th, 2026 at 3 p.m. at the Rec Center building, lower level, room 2. If you have a desire to make Lapeer's America 250 celebration an event to remember and are willing to donate your time and your talent, we would love to have you join our group. And thirdly, it's a sleepy time for lilacs right now, but that doesn't mean our committee isn't taking a winter pass. We will be meeting during winter so that the springtime in Lapeer will be a lilac time. More information will be forthcoming. Again, in case I forgot to mention it before, Director Rodney Church, along with his staff, Eric and Ryan, did an outstanding job planting all the lilacs throughout the city before the snow and the frigid weather blasted us and set in. So thank you again, Director Church. Finally, everyone have a safe, warm, comforting, and very Merry Christmas and a joyful New Year.
All right, so we'll stop right there. Commissioner Glissman, I got to say, out of all the commissioners, I don't have her figured out. And that's not a bad thing. I just feel like I have the least understanding of where she's coming from. She seems very sweet. I know she loves lilacs. But I really want to speak to the Chief Out thing. That is dope. Accepted into a national academy that only the top 1% are accepted into. I just did a video the other day where I referred to him as a brick shit house. I mean, and the other thing I want to point out is I believe he has a master's in social work. So when you combine a guy who can break you with his hands, but would rather kind of talk it out first, that might be the, you know, pretty good building blocks for a police chief. So I think we are fortunate in Lapeer. She also mentioned Rodney Church in the Parks Department. Rodney, I believe, is over that community center that I just said great things about. And from what I've seen in my 7 years in Lapeer, the Parks Department does do a really good job. So I'm with Commissioner Glissman and really most of her, maybe all of her comments. I'm less enthusiastic about lilacs than she is, but overall, cool stuff. Let's move on to the next one.
Thank you, Commissioner Glissman. Any other commissioner comments tonight? Commissioner Petrie.
I'm going to start out by saying thank you for everybody that came, employees, staff that have to stay this late. I'm apologizing for that. Thank you for your interest from the public for being here. I appreciate it. I want to start out with my comments tonight with a couple words that are probably my most two important words in my life that I live by. They're truth and trust. And they actually hang on my house. I have a sign. They hang in the same room to remind me that you cannot have one without the other. You cannot have truth without trust, and you can't have trust without truth. So, you can't have a relationship without both of those things. You absolutely cannot have a relationship. And I've spoken several times in my commissioner comments about trust and how important it is. I was elected to this position by people that trusted me to pay attention to what we are doing here in our local government, what we're doing with their dollars, and that we spend them responsibly, that we make decisions that improve their way of life, safety, and security, that we keep this community somewhere that they want to continue calling home. The past few weeks and the last couple of meetings have not represented truth and trust. Matter of fact, there was a breach, in my opinion, in my trust. Or a ding, whatever you want to refer to it as. This week, Mayor Hing got an email from Mr. Hogan asking if he wanted to discuss things on the agenda that were being put on the agenda. I didn't get the agenda till 5 o'clock on Wednesday night. So I don't know who breached that confidentiality and gave that to Mr. Hogan, but I was elected. And so what I'm saying is I want to see the agenda before the public does. So I'm offended and angry that our media had information about our agenda before I thought it was on the agenda. I didn't know it was going to be on the agenda. So all this talk went on through the whole city. Emails that were accusatory, inflammatory, unnecessary, full of assumption, full of speculation. And I'm going to just tell you, let's talk about the word assume and where it gets us. Not in a good place. So I'm really upset about that because I worked hard to get elected. I work hard on these packets. Josh, I do my due diligence every single time. Every single time. That doesn't mean I won't have questions. I'm supposed to have questions. The people that elected me want me to ask questions. That's how I clarify. So my point is, let's go back to trying to have truth and trust so that we can work as a team. I'm sorry that I spoke out of anger, but I'm beyond frustrated. It's 5 after 10. I really believe that we are good people up here that want to do the best for our community. I'm asking that we work toward that as a group with the tasks at hand so that we bring the best that we have, the best that our community can have for Lapeer. I'm asking that this behavior that I've seen a lot of meetings. I went to a lot of meetings before I was up here. Never have I seen the pushback for the mayor and the disrespect for the mayor. Publicly, up here, I've never seen it, and it's unfair. This was Jeremy's third meeting. He is trying to go by the rules. He's trying to get the train on the tracks. First, he's got to straighten the tracks. Give him a break.
Thank you, Ms. Petrie.
All right, so Commissioner Petrie gives us a lot to talk about. She's mentioned truth and trust, how you can't have one without the other. You can't have a relationship without them. I definitely agree when it comes to the relationship part. The first half of that, I think, is a philosophical debate that my son would love to have with her. Maybe he'd agree, but it is hard to have a relationship without truth and trust. What I didn't hear her say, however, is that trust is something that is earned over time, right? At least usually that's the case. And maybe that's an oversight on her part. I mean, like, I'm not trying to knock her for leaving that out. I just think it's worth adding to the discussion that trust that doesn't exist up there between that group of people, it's not shocking. They just kind of formed their Voltron esque body that is going to lead Lapeer. She talked about a breach of trust regarding the media, mentioned Jeff Hogan by name, and talked about the publishing of the agenda and how she did not like that. She is upset with whoever leaked the agenda, but I feel like she was upset with Jeff for publishing it too. Now, that's complete speculation. If she is, she is. Like, I don't know. I imagine if you're an elected official, you would potentially get bent out of shape to find things out after the rest of the community does. I can see that. Offended and angry, she said. She did mention to Josh Atwood that she does always do her due diligence. And I've seen comments out there that say typically she really does do that. She asks lots of questions before any money gets spent. I will challenge whether or not she did do her due diligence when it came to the approval of outside counsel. There was never a closed meeting. So as far as I know, the commissioners that supported Mayor Hing on that, which are Commissioners Petrie, Glissman, and McCarthy, who have been by and large a voting bloc supporting the mayor. I don't know that they did do their due diligence on that. So while I believe from what I've seen, Commissioner Petrie typically does on this one, maybe not. And then she gave some pushback as far as the mayor, saying that, well, the pushback against the mayor has been unfair, that she's never seen a mayor so disrespected and just have such a difficult time. It's only his third meeting, she said. And to an extent, I think she does have a point. And here I am, like, I'm talking about the mayor on a regular basis. But I am trying to be fair. I think as soon as you take that job, everything you do is up for debate. So never trying to be personal. I don't feel like that was directed at me, but just the community is watching and talking. And maybe it was directed at me. If it was, that's okay. I only kind of half agree with her on that because, again, like the mayor, it's not as if there's no complicity on his part. There are certainly things that he could have done differently over these last 3 meetings that would have lessened and kind of dampened some of the rhetoric we're seeing on social media. There are moments of his that are now captured that they haven't painted him in the best light. Should we have grace with somebody who's now under a microscope and trying to learn something new? Absolutely. When she talks about getting the train on the tracks, like, was it off the tracks? Because it seems like the commission was functioning much better under Debbie Marquardt. Now, of course, she was there for a long time, so that's not an equal comparison. But I'm just saying, when she left office, I would suggest that the train was on the tracks. So it getting off the tracks and Mayor Hing trying to get it on the tracks, I don't know if I really get that analogy. I'm not sure that's accurate, but I do respect that she's urging everybody to just kind of settle down and have some patience and let him grow into the position. I do think that I can agree with for sure.
Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Elwood?
Yeah. Just to reiterate something here, since I was kind of verbally attacked there. Each one of us were elected and entrusted by the people, to which I've survived the last 10 years, and you continue to deny my requests and my input on this board. I question whether my opinions matter from all the experience I have. And you know what? I could make a mistake. We all could. But whenever I bring objection to something, it is never to spite the individual. I have a duty to do. I have a charter to uphold. And when I think something is out of order, I will bring it up. I don't care who the mayor is. I have rapport with all the mayors, with all the commissioners I worked with. When they were out of order, if I objected to something, I did it honestly, I did it openly, at a public meeting. My objection is about procedure and compliance with the charter, which we obviously need clarification on what the power the mayor has, because unless he found a secret code that no mayor before has found, I will continue to raise objection if I see fit and I read something that to me is not right. So I will not feel bad about that. I'm not responsible for other people's feelings. If I've broken trust with people, that is not my goal. I will be honest and open about how I feel. If that breaks trust, that's not on me. Trust in relationship is a two-way street. And if you're not willing to meet and talk, even with our city manager, I don't know how you can gain trust.
Thank you, Commissioner Elwood.
All right, Commissioner Atwood mentioned that he's been on the commission for 10 years and that obviously he has quite a bit of experience in this capacity, and he wonders whether that experience even matters. He mentions that he has a duty, a charter to uphold, and that seems very important to him. And he brings that up to stress that anything he's doing up there, it's not personal. He would do it. It doesn't matter who was mayor or who else was a city commissioner. He would be doing the exact same things because that's what his duty calls him to do. He also talked about the clarification that's needed, which I 100% agree. I don't believe that the issue between large body and small body is truly settled. I know that Mayor Hing probably does. He had the support of the three women, the three lady commissioners, Commissioner Glissman, Petrie, and McCarthy on that very issue. So right now, they're functioning like a small body. But both times that they had an attorney weigh in, the attorney seemed to hedge toward this is a large body. And I hope that at the next meeting, we hear from the city attorney and he gives his opinion. Now, whether or not that matters or changes anything, I don't know. But the city attorney really needs to make this plain what's what. This is one of those moments that the attorney needs to step up and put something on the record, and I'm sure he will. I believe it's Francis, right? So I'm not calling him out. I'm just saying, like, we need to hear from you. So I look forward to that. I hope that's what we get. I like the secret code or the cheat code he said. Because he's pointing out no other mayor's ever been allowed to do this. So how come you are? And uh, it's a good point, but it's not necessarily the end all be all point. Maybe he's the first one to do this because he was the first one to identify, I don't say the loophole, but like the way to do this. Again, we do need to hear from the attorney. I believe we still need clarification on that. He also mentioned trust being a two-way street, right? The mayor having not had a conversation with the city manager, supposedly. I think that came up earlier in the meeting. And just not seeming like he's going out of his way to try to talk to people. That goes back to what I said in a earlier commentary about trust being something that is built over time.
Commissioner McCarthy.
First of all, I want to thank everyone for staying here. It's a drag, I get it. After this is our third meeting, and I'd say the last meeting was probably the most contentious. And the following Sunday, it was a Monday night, the following Sunday, I went to hear my daughter sing. She sings like the nightingale. It's another story, another day. But the sermon at that time was, believe it or not, on peace. How apropos. And I'm going to paraphrase something that the minister said. It was the person from Kensington, Oregon. She talked about peace, and she said, at this time of the year, everybody wants to talk about peace. It's in the air, peace on earth, goodwill to men. And she said, but peace is a really tricky thing. And she used an analogy that caught my attention, and you're gonna chuckle. She said it's like a Swiss Army knife. It's a whole lot of moving parts. There's a lot of facets to peace. And everybody thinks they know what peace means. Everybody has their own personal definition of peace. But there's all kinds of things. There's peace on earth, there's peace with God, there's peace with yourself, peace with your neighbors. And one of the things she brought up is the different ways of finding peace, specifically two ways that I think relate to our city commission. The first one is peacekeeping. And that's the easy one, isn't it? You just roll over, tuck your head, go along to get along. Peacekeeping is easy. The second part's really hard, peacemaking. And she talked about how with peacemaking, it's not always easy. It's opposing viewpoints, which are good. They're good to have a vote. But it says the two opposing sides, the different opinions have to come in the middle, and they have to try to find resolution. They have to find compromise. They have to try solutions, find solutions that move us forward. And when you do peacemaking, you gotta sail through a lot of rough waters to get to the other side of the storm. And that's what I truly believe we're doing right now, is we're trying to peacemake, and we're not very good at it. I mean, we're not. We kind of suck at it a little bit, but we're getting better. This meeting was way better than last meeting. So there's hope. I have hope for peacemaking. And I think I think you're gonna see clear skies eventually. I think you're gonna see things move along and get a lot easier, and everybody has, I'm new, the mayor's new, we've got training wheels on apparently. But I just want to say that we need to focus, all of us, on peacemaking, and every city commissioner up here has to probably decide what role they hold for the community that they were elected. Are they gonna be a peacekeeper or a peacemaker? That's what we have to take on, that burden. And so I'm just telling you that's where that sermon sat with me. And I just want to wish all of you a very safe and happy holiday. I hope it's filled with joy and celebration. And I hope that in the next 2 weeks, when we come back at the beginning of the year, you'll see that we're even more dedicated to peacemaking here at the commission. So happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Commissioner McCarthy, and I'm going to double hers up with Commissioner Brady, and you'll see why in just a minute. But Commissioner McCarthy talked a lot about peace and compromising and solutions and just getting better, that she has hope, that she thinks clear skies are ahead. She referred to a sermon that she had heard, and it was quite apropos for, in her mind, for what they were going through on the city commission. I think that's inarguable, most of what she said, at least like the spirit of what she had to say. Um, I respect. I think that was a positive message for her to deliver, especially as a commissioner who's been to 3 meetings. I think it made a lot of sense for her to just keep it simple and kind of preach a little bit about the importance of coming together, right? It's not too far off of what Commissioner Petrie had to say as far as trust and truth. Like all these values need to be incorporated into our city commission. And it's not, I think all these people have that in them. I really do. But right now, it's just not, it's not clicking. You guys see it for yourself. But what she had to say had a clear impact on Commissioner Brady. And I think that is worth uh, pointing out, and it's why I kind of grouped the two of them into the one video.
Any other commissioner comments? Yes, no?
Well, to be a peacemaker, I will not address. I'll keep my mouth shut because,
Okay.
you know, let me just say this: out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so I'll just be a peacemaker.
Very good. Mr. Womack.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief. Ms. Blitzman, first of all, miss you. We used to have fun with our little history things. We'll have to talk before the meeting, I think, next time to get on the same page.
Do you have one tonight?
I didn't. It's been tough to come up with one for the last couple of meetings. Just, by way of what I did this week, I spent a significant amount of time trying to resurrect Bike Night. I don't know if the commission is going to go for it, but we've got some ideas about how it might be possible in the future. And of course, this job is difficult because sometimes you're trying to bring two sides together that don't necessarily want to go together. But I had some productive meetings about that. Had a productive meeting about Car Night, Classic Car Night, which I think might be similarly affected by what the commission talked about their previous meeting. I also spent a significant amount of time on commercial and residential development. The city is poised, I think, to really grow and get the types of developments we want in this community, which is part of why we keep bringing things to the board. And thank you for passing those planning and zoning changes. I think that'll be a good first step towards being more business friendly. Spent an inordinate and hopefully not as much in the future time on snow removal. I hear it's going to be something like 50 or 60 degrees in 2 days, so hopefully that will melt. Even though I do have my own job that I do, I spend a significant amount of my time dealing with promoting and helping my staff succeed. And I'm always happy to see them succeed because, of course, their success is the success of the city and for its citizens. One thing I would mention is, and I apologize to staff, it's 10:15 now, and this is now a third meeting in a row which we've done this, on Monday morning, today, I heard from a staff person who said they were sick to the stomach just in anticipation of the meeting. And another person who said they had a headache today coming into work in anticipation of this meeting. And I had an incredibly highly qualified person tell me that they were looking for a new job because of the behavior of this commission at this meeting. These are great people. I don't want to lose them. They're great for the citizens of Lapeer. But it's hard, as a staff person, to be held till 10:15 and have to deal with, maybe parents fighting is not the correct term, but you guys get what I'm saying. They look to me for, advice and support, and I try to provide it to them, and I feel like I failed because I apologize. So of course, I'm a human too. I'm actually currently on bereavement leave, but I'm here today because I want to be here for this meeting, and I want to support my staff, and I want to do the work for the city. But it's difficult. I'm looking for, I'm not sure if everybody else is looking for this, but common sense approach to government. This is a people job. This is a communication job. I've been doing this for 10 years. Before that, I did 8 years as an attorney, which again, same rules. You have to communicate. You have to get along. You don't have to be so rigid. There's a meeting place in the middle, as Ms. McCarthy has said. And I truly believe that, because again, I have succeeded for a decade at doing this job by finding a place in the middle where we can agree. So I would ask the board to consider doing that and maybe not being so rigid and inflexible in the future. I would also just comment, Merry Christmas. It's not quite there yet, but Merry Christmas. And happy Hanukkah, which started last night. And I'll also comment on the Bondi beach shootings that occurred. I was there in Bondi, so went to Port Arthur. I'm not going to comment on shootings in this country, but my heart goes out to the Australian people tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Womack.
All right, so we have the city manager, Mike Womack. Look, he fears he's going to lose his job. That is obvious. He thinks that the outside counsel is regarding him, and I'll tell you, the word on the street can be wrong. But the word on the street, if I were him, would leave me in the same place, fearful that I was going to lose my job. There was quite a bit said during this meeting. I believe Commissioner McCarthy mentioned she can't imagine ever firing him or what have you. But I'm just saying, the guy, he is laying out the fact that he has 10 years experience in city management, 8 years before that as an attorney. Mentioning that his staff is sick to their stomach in anticipation of these meetings, one of them looking for a new job. He just wants a common sense approach to government. He wants to meet in the middle. That's his message. My read on Mike Womack, I've met him once or twice. He may not remember me. He may not know who I am. He's not somebody who's, in my opinion, especially personable right off the bat. As you get to know him, maybe, because, it sounds like he has his own staff opening up to him and saying, hey, I may be out of here. I'm looking for a way out. You have to have a good relationship with your boss to be that honest. So I do think there's a legit good guy in there somewhere. Not that there's an obvious bad guy on the outside, but I'm just saying he may not be the most cuddly, personable, easy to get to know. You just love him as soon as you meet him type of person. But that's not what he was hired to do, right? He was hired to manage the city of Lapeer. So as far as I'm concerned, that's what it comes down to. That's what is important. That's the criteria he should be judged by first and foremost. There's absolutely some room for professional decorum to take into account. I would not want a city manager who just speaks to his staff any old kind of way, or your average citizen without respect, which I'm not saying he's done. But what I'm saying, if he doesn't do those things, just because he's not easy to get to know doesn't mean that's not something we should be punitive about. Is he getting the job done? Is he getting the job done? We're going to find out. Hashtag. And the city of Lapeer is really going to find that out. We're going to answer that question. So stay tuned for that.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here tonight and your input tonight, and for, once again, a late night for the staff and department heads. Apologize for that, and hopefully we get better at shrinking it down. It was a little better this time around. Hopefully keep getting better at that, improving that as we go forward. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. By the time we come back together, it'll be the new year. And I pray that you all depart from here and that you're safe, and that you can be at peace and relax after a long day. And that's all I have. So thank you all. We will call for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Adjourn. Supported. Meeting adjourned.
And lastly, we heard from the mayor. And the mayor really didn't say a lot. He kept it simple. He apologized to the staff and the people just for the meetings running on. Kept it short and sweet. I think it probably helped him, and that he appreciated Commissioner Petrie going to bat for him a little earlier and saying he's in his third meeting, give the guy a break. I'm sure that was music to his ears, and understandably so. So the mayor really didn't say a whole lot right there. And I guess that leaves me without a whole lot to say, other than I look forward to the next meeting. I look forward to the next year. Lapeer, I believe we're going to get it right. I believe we're going to have a good year, truly. And I say we because I think we're going to see more community engagement than we've seen in a very long time. And there are peacekeepers, and there are people with the strength to do their duties and hold others accountable. And I look forward to hopefully seeing that in play and perhaps being a part of that myself at times. So let's do this, Lapeer. Let's get it right. 2026 is a big year for all of us if we make it that way, and we are only going to do that together. So I'm sure I'll see you before then, but whenever you're watching this, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'll see you soon.